What's the story, everyone? Welcome back to Get It Games Fan TV. How are we all getting on? How is the form? I hope we're all keeping wonderfully well. This is 5 club championship games worth keeping an eye on this weekend. We're going to run through 5 games in particular that you should be watching this weekend. Something new we're going to do on the channel, as I was saying kind of earlier in the week. We're going to start doing 5 moments of the week, and then looking ahead to 5 games, and eventually this will transition into some more kind of like in-depth kind of predictions and everything else. We obviously have the podcast that went live yesterday as well, where we discussed these games in more detail. So this is going to be a little bit of a quick four kind of run through of some of the games that are taking place this weekend. So yeah, if anyone's new around the channel, if you could hit the like button and subscribe, that would be very much appreciated. And look, there is plenty of big games taking place this weekend. Some big finals. You've got the Donegal football final, the Antrim football final, the Laois football final as well. Of course, some big semi-finals across multiple different counties, the likes of Galway, Monaghan, and even in hurling in Dublin as well. So yeah, plenty that we discussed yesterday, and 5 games worth to keeping an eye on. So let's crack into it. We'll start off with one of the games that is live on TV, and it is live on TG Cathart this coming Sunday at 4:30 between Gweedore and Niamh Connell in the Donegal football final. Look, in recent years, I won't lie, Donegal football hasn't been the most entertaining or the most exciting. I don't think there's any getting away from that. A lot of the games have been quite boring. But look, with the new rules and everything else, I'm open to be corrected on that. I obviously haven't watched a huge amount of Donegal. Who's texting me here? Go away, will you? Obviously haven't watched that much Donegal football this year, in all honesty. But look, this will be a very interesting final, in fairness. We've seen plenty of shocks already in the Donegal Football Championship this year, with St. Eunan's getting knocked out quite early on in the championship, albeit quite controversially. But in terms of this final, look, live on TG Cathart on Sunday at 3:30. It is a repeat of the 2023 final, in which Niamh Connell won the title on that particular day. That was their last title win 2 years ago. They didn't win it last year. And Gweedore themselves haven't won this since 2018. So it was a massive final 2 years ago. It'll be huge, obviously, this coming Sunday as well. Looking at some of the players that are on show as well, like there's some big players that either team have, like Gweedore have the likes of Dara O'Boyle in their ranks. You've got Owen de Burka, Ethan Harkin, some very good club players in there as well. And Niamh Connell are stacked with inter-county talent from the likes of Finbar Rorty, Ciaran Thompson's in there as well. So look, this will be a massive game in Donegal. There's no doubt about it. The showpiece event. Donegal football, like, obviously is on an upward trajectory. There's no doubt about that since Jim McGuinness came back. But club football hasn't been the best, I think it's fair to say. And look, this coming Sunday, this will be a cracking game. Like, I think the choices of the games on TG Cathart are a little bit questionable in terms of the Tyrone Championship not being on. I would have loved to see a bit of Monaghan football as well. But you know, and that's not to take away the Antrim final, and obviously on RTE as well. You have the Tipperary semi-finals, Tipperary football semi-finals. But I don't know, like I would have thought they would have had those other games on. But look, this game, to be fair, will definitely be worth watching. This will be an absolute cracker. In terms of a prediction, do you know what? I think Gweedore will do it. I think they'll get revenge on that final 2 years ago. And I think some of the big wins they've had, they came through St. Michael's as well, who stacked with some players like Michael Langan in their ranks. So yeah, I think it could be Gweedore's day. We mentioned the Tyrone Championship there, and what a game this posed to be between Trillick and Errigal Ciaran. The last 2 finals have actually been Errigal Ciaran and Trillick, and this time they're meeting in a semi-final. So this is going to be an absolute cracker. Look, the Tyrone Championship is never short of drama. There's always so much going on, so much happening, late drama, penalties, sending off. Obviously, the cutthroat nature of it means that you never can quite predict what's going to happen at the best of times. But yet these two have often come very far. The last 2 finals in the Tyrone Senior Football Championship, as I said, was these two playing each other. And both of those 2 finals that I mentioned as well, like, I mean, Errigal Ciaran won it last year. Trillick won it the year before. So this will be very interesting to kind of see how this kind of pans out. And no doubt the winner of this will be the favourites in the Tyrone Senior Football Championship. Like, you look at some of the players Ciaran have with the likes of Dara and Rory Canavan. You've got Peter Hart in there as well. Trillick are not short of players either. Lee Brennan, Kieran Daly, Matty Donnelly, just to name a few. So without question, this is worth keeping an eye on. I believe this is live on Tyrone GA TV, so it might be behind the paywall, unfortunately, which is a shame, but no question this is going to be a cracker of a game. Moving across to Galway, you've got Corofin versus Salt Hill Knocknacarra. And lads, look at some of the players that Salt Hill Knocknacarra have in their team. Like, it's incredible, really, and you kind of forget some of the players that they're stacked with. I mean, they've got John Marr, Tom O'Callaghan, Robert Finnerty, Cathal Sweeney, Daniel O'Flaherty, and Matthew Thompson, all very much sort of at a young age as well, maybe aside from John Marr, not to rub it in. I mean, I'm an L bastard as well, so like, I'm not calling them out there around like that, but yeah, like Salt Hill Knocknacarra stacked with players, but Corofin, they're just cute bastards, aren't they? They really, really are, from the likes of Dara and Liam Silk, but you've still got like Martin Farragher knocking around. You've still got a lot of those lads who were there when they won that, when they were the top dogs in the country, really. Like, a lot of them have moved on, a lot of them have retired, but there is still some of them still there, which is incredible to see. In fairness, obviously managers have changed and everything else as well. Corofin are bidden to win 3 in a row, and despite Salt Hill having some of the players that I've mentioned, like, a lot of these players haven't won a county title. Like, they haven't won one since 2012. Like, so look, this is going to be a very interesting game. Obviously, the semi-finals as well. So we'll see kind of what happens kind of going into it. Salt Hill are the team in form. From what I've read, they are coming in form. Corofin have looked a little bit shaky at times this year. But like, if Corofin quietly go and do a 3 in a row, like, that would be some achievement, given that like their sort of status of being the top dogs in Galway was sort of knocked off by the likes of Mountbelly, Moylock and Moycullen. So if they get back on top, win this game, progress to a final, that'll be incredible. Another semi-final we're looking at here is in Monaghan, and this is Clontarbrett O'Neill's versus Scottstown. Look, you'll see Conor McManus on the screen there of Clontarbrett O'Neill's. And look, some absolute stars will be on show within Monaghan. I don't know if people notice the L Monaghan shirt in the background there. We're trying to add a few more shirts, a bit more variety to the L wall there. And yeah, we've got a Monaghan jersey up there now. Let me know what other jerseys you should see. We should get up there as well, but getting a bit sidetracked there. But anyway, back to the Monaghan Senior Football Championship. Look, Clontarbrett with Conor McManus, one of their standout players, there's no question about that. But Scottstown are bidden to win a 10th title in 14 years, and should they come through this, they'll take it even a step closer to achieving that, getting to the final. And Scottstown are stacked with county stars as well, from Rory Beggan to Conor McCarthy, Jack McCarran, to name a few. Like, there's obviously the Hughes brothers in there as well. So like, this Scottstown team are very, very good. And look, there's no question they'll be eyeing up Ulster as well. Like, that's been the one that's kind of evaded them. Can they win Ulster? Can they go and maybe go and win an All-Ireland potentially as well? Because you feel like they do have the players to do it. Clontarbrett haven't won this since 2013, so it'll be massive for Conor McManus. I've seen one of the points he scored, I think, earlier in the year in the Monaghan Senior Football Championship from like his own half or something like that. So look, obviously not playing county football anymore, so there's no question we'll see the best of him this coming weekend. Again, not too sure where this game is on, unfortunately. I think the Salt Hill Knocknacarra game, don't think I mentioned that. I think that's on Galway GATV. Not too sure where this one is. People can educate us on the comments in regards to that, to be fair. And then lastly, the only hurling game to really kind of keep an eye on this weekend. This is live on Dubs GATV, so make sure to check that out. Kilmuckle Crokes versus Na Fianna in the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship semi-finals. 3 of the last 4 finals in the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship have been between these two. And like, when you look at Crokes, when you look at Na Fianna, there's some amount of rivalry, isn't there, between these two? Like, two clubs on the opposite ends of the city. Na Fianna on the north side, Kilmuckle Crokes on the south side. But yeah, they always seem to play each other. And both football and hurling, they're always competing for top dogs. Like, Crokes won the double a couple of years ago in Dublin, the double. I think Na Fianna could win the double this year. Do you know what I mean? They could easily win football and they could win the hurling championship as well. And should they go and knock Crokes out of the hurling championship, a bit like what they did in the football championship a week ago, that will be some doing. But interesting enough, the narrative is different here. Like, Crokes are the ones coming in as slight underdogs, given the Fianna's what they achieved last year, winning Dublin and winning the All-Ireland, of course, as well. Both are stacked with county stars. I mean, Na Fianna have the likes of Sean Curry, AJ Murphy, Donald Burke. Crokes of Fergal Whiteley, Brian and Ronan Hayes in their ranks as well. So both teams are stacked with players. You remember the drama a couple of years ago as well, like Crokes beating Na Fianna I think in two finals back to back in 2021 and 2022. One of them, they got like a late goal from Ronan Hayes to force it to extra time. And you were kind of wondering, are Fina ever going to get over the line here with some of the kind of heartbreak they were enduring within Dublin? But they got over the line, obviously, last year, the year before as well. So this will be a very, very interesting game to keep an eye on, no doubt. If I have to give a prediction here, I would probably, I would go with Nafina, I think, but Dublin football and hurling's been a bit mad this year. There's been a lot of shock surprises and everything else. So it'll be interesting to see if we get another one this weekend. In terms of the other games, I don't think I gave my predictions. I am going to go with Errigal Ciaran to beat Trillick as well. We'll go with Scottstown to beat Clontarf. We'll actually go with Salt Hill to beat Corofin. But anyway, that's 5 games to keep an eye on in this weekend's club championships. Plenty of action, plenty of other big games as well. Obviously, I'm trying to narrow down, trying to keep this a little bit short. I'm trying to keep the podcast content going, but also the sort of individual videos that I do, because they did do very well last year. And everything else. So we're trying to kind of mix and match it. We'll do a bit more of this, obviously, when it gets to inter-county football as well. And when we start getting to the later kind of series of club championships, we'll start doing predictions and everything else. So, yeah, anyone who's tuning in, do hit the like button and subscribe if you could. And we'll catch you all in the next